Welcome to another episode of Mastering Cybersecurity, developed by baremetalcyber.com. Let's dive in. A cyber incident is any event that threatens the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of information or systems, whether accidental or malicious. Typical examples include a lost laptop containing unencrypted data, a ransomware infection that locks shared files, or an intruder abusing a stolen password to read private email. Incident response, often shortened to incident response, IR, is the organized process a team follows to detect, manage, and resolve such events with minimal harm. A structured process matters because decisions made under stress can unintentionally destroy evidence, extend downtime, or worsen legal exposure. Clear steps, practiced roles, and reliable documentation turn confusion into coordinated action that protects people, data, and operations. This episode explains those steps with simple terms and practical examples that beginners can follow confidently. Most organizations use a lifecycle model that brings order to a chaotic moment and keeps work moving. The lifecycle includes preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication, recovery, and lessons learned, each reinforcing the others. Preparation ensures the team, tools, and playbooks are ready before anything breaks, which reduces delays and mistakes when seconds count. Detection and analysis focus on noticing suspicious activity and deciding whether it is a real incident that needs escalation. Containment limits damage while preserving evidence and buying time to understand what happened and who is affected. Eradication and recovery remove the cause, restore clean systems, and verify normal operations before closing with lessons learned. An incident response plan is the playbook that explains who decides what, when, and how during pressure. The plan names roles like the incident commander, technical lead, communications lead, and scribe, and it describes decision authority for each role. It spells out contact paths, escalation thresholds, and on-call rotations so people know whom to call at any hour. It also includes legal, regulatory, and contractual triggers for notifications, along with templates for documenting facts and timelines. The plan defines severity levels and criteria for classifying incidents, which helps prioritize resources consistently. When written clearly and kept current, the plan turns a complex situation into coordinated steps that can be executed confidently. Preparation is groundwork that pays off long before an alert appears and long after systems recover. Maintain an asset inventory that lists what exists, who owns it, and where it resides, because people cannot defend what they cannot see. Baseline configurations, hardened images, and known good backups reduce guesswork when you must rebuild a server or laptop quickly. Logging and monitoring feed a security information and event management (SIEM) platform or similar tool so investigators can reconstruct events consistently. Playbooks and tabletop exercises train the team to practice decisions before the stakes are high and tempers are short. Access, permissions, and tools should be validated regularly because missing credentials or broken agents waste precious minutes when action is needed. Detection begins with signals from tools, people, and partners, but triage decides what truly requires response. An alert becomes an incident when initial facts show real impact or credible risk to data, systems, or users that warrants coordinated action. Triage assigns severity based on scope, sensitivity of affected data, business criticality, and likelihood of spread. Categorizing the incident, such as malware, unauthorized access, denial of service, or data exposure, guides the next technical steps. Investigators should capture early observations carefully while avoiding changes that destroy logs or volatile memory needed for analysis. The goal is to decide quickly and accurately while preserving options for containment and evidence collection. Evidence handling and basic forensics hygiene protect the investigation and the organization's credibility. Establish a chain of custody, often called chain of custody (COC), that records who collected which artifacts, when, where, and how they were stored. Preserve volatile data like running processes, network connections, and memory images before shutting down or re-imaging systems. Keep logs from hosts, applications, firewalls, and cloud services intact and copied to a controlled repository for analysis. Use synchronized time sources, such as a network time protocol and TP service, so timestamps line up across systems. Record actions and observations in a dedicated case notebook or ticket, kept factual and timestamped to avoid confusion later. Communication during an incident should be purposeful, timely, and limited to need-to-know audiences with clear boundaries. Internal updates flow from the incident commander to technical teams and leadership at predictable intervals that match the severity. Legal and communications leads help craft statements that are accurate, brief, and consistent, reducing the risk of misinterpretation or premature admissions. Vendors and partners may need to provide logs, revoke tokens, or apply blocks, so contact paths and expectations should be prepared in advance. Sensitive information stays within secure channels that are recorded for accountability and reviewed for clarity. A calm, consistent voice reduces chaos and builds trust while the technical work progresses steadily. Containment has two horizons, and choosing wisely prevents whack-a-mole fixes that keep failing under pressure. Short-term containment focuses on quickly reducing harm by blocking indicators of compromise, isolating accounts, and segmenting affected network areas. These steps buy time but should not be the final state, because adversaries may still have alternative paths. Long-term containment addresses root access paths and architecture weaknesses, such as enforcing stronger multi-factor authentication (MFA), improving network segmentation, or reconfiguring exposed services. Each containment choice should include a clear rollback or transition plan so the team can move to eradication without surprises. Documenting rationale helps others understand why certain risks were accepted temporarily and when they will be fully addressed. Eradication and recovery remove the cause, restore clean systems, and verify that the environment is trustworthy again. Eradication might include deleting malware, patching exploited vulnerabilities, rotating keys and credentials, and removing unauthorized accounts or persistence mechanisms. Recovery uses known good backups, gold images, or fresh builds to return services to operation in a controlled sequence. Validation includes integrity checks, configuration comparisons, and targeted monitoring to ensure the problem does not reappear quietly. A phased return to service allows careful observation while limiting business disruption if something unexpected emerges. Only after verification should incident status shift from active response to monitored normal operations. Scenario playbooks translate principles into concrete steps for common events with important nuances and cautions. A ransomware playbook prioritizes isolation, preservation of artifacts, negotiation considerations through counsel, and clean restore from backups verified as uncompromised. An account compromise playbook focuses on credential resets, session revocation, mailbox and audit log review, and hunting for suspicious forwarding rules or app passwords. A web application breach playbook guides log collection from the application and reverse proxy, code review, credential rotation, and containment through temporary rules or maintenance windows. Each playbook highlights where evidence must be collected before change and which steps are safe immediately. Tailoring playbooks to your environment keeps guidance practical and decision-ready. External parties can be crucial allies, and engaging them correctly speeds resolution while managing obligations. An incident response firm can provide surge capacity and deep expertise, so contracts and points of contact should be in place before a crisis. Law enforcement involvement depends on jurisdiction, harm, and counsel's advice, and they typically ask for timelines, indicators, and preserved evidence. Cyber insurance carriers often require prompt notice and may specify approved vendors, documentation formats, and communication rules. Regulators and affected customers may require notifications within defined timeframes, using facts that have been verified and approved by legal teams. Having templates, contact lists, and evidence summaries ready makes coordination faster and less stressful. Post-incident work turns hard experience into lasting improvement that reduces future risk and response time. A lessons learned meeting held soon after stabilization reviews what happened, what went well, and what should change. Root cause analysis distinguishes immediate technical triggers from deeper contributing factors such as gaps in training, monitoring, or access control. Corrective actions might involve patch management improvements, better alert tuning, enhanced MFA coverage, or revised approval steps for risky changes. Updates to playbooks, training, and the incident response plan should be recorded, assigned, and tracked to completion. Metrics like time to detect, time to contain, and time to recover provide a baseline for measuring progress. Preparation is continuous, and readiness improves when small investments are made consistently and deliberately. Regular tabletop exercises rehearse decision-making and reveal gaps in contact lists, tools, and permissions. Backup restore drills validate that media, procedures, and credentials actually work when pressure is high and patience is low. Alert tuning sessions remove noisy rules and add precise detections for known attacker behaviors and likely threats. Access reviews ensure only required privileges exist, reducing the blast radius when an account is misused by an attacker. Together, these habits reduce panic, increase confidence, and shorten every phase of the response lifecycle measurably. Technology choices can simplify response when aligned with clear operational needs and evidence requirements. A well-deployed security information and event management (SIEM) platform helps analysts search, correlate, and visualize events across hosts, applications, and cloud services. Endpoint detection and response (EDR) agents provide rapid isolation, timeline reconstruction, and remote evidence collection that preserves speed and accuracy. Secure Bastion hosts and approved toolkits prevent ad hoc scripts from altering evidence or spreading errors during containment or eradication. Ticketing systems tie actions to people, times, and approvals, creating an auditable trail that supports legal and regulatory needs. When tools are integrated and documented, responders can move thoughtfully rather than hurriedly switching between disconnected screens. People remain the decisive factor, and role clarity keeps expertise focused where it matters most. The incident commander coordinates priorities, approves containment moves, and manages time-boxed updates to leadership and stakeholders. The technical lead directs investigation and remediation tasks and ensures evidence is preserved before change when feasible. The communications lead handles internal and external messaging with guidance from legal counsel, keeping statements accurate and consistent. The scribe maintains the timeline, records decisions, and captures artifacts locations so nothing important depends on memory. When each person knows their lane and trusts their peers, momentum builds without confusion or duplicate work. Documentation is not busy work because accurate records enable learning, compliance, and stronger defenses over time. Timelines that combine chat excerpts, ticket notes, log references, and screenshots show who did what and when in language others can follow. Decision logs explain why specific actions were taken, which constraints existed, and how risks were balanced at each stage. Evidence catalogs point to preserved artifacts with hashes, locations, and custody details that support consistent analysis and external inquiries. These records simplify regulatory notifications, insurance claims, and executive briefings, while also becoming training material for future responders. Good documentation makes a complicated event understandable long after the adrenaline fades. Effective incident response protects people, data, and operations by combining preparation, clear roles, disciplined steps, and honest reflection. Defined plans and practiced playbooks reduce uncertainty, while measured containment and thorough recovery restore trust in a controlled way. Careful evidence handling, purposeful communication, and thoughtful engagement with outside parties keep choices defensible and timelines clear. Lessons learned turn a difficult moment into better monitoring, stronger controls, and faster decisions the next time. With steady preparation and calm execution, organizations handle incidents with confidence and improve resilience after every event. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.